Welcome to Tamriel, the vast continent that has captured the hearts of millions through the Elder Scrolls. This legendary landmass stretches across 9 distinct provinces, each with its own unique culture, history, and mystical secrets. From the frozen peaks of Skyrim to the sweltering marshes of Black Marsh, every corner of Tamriel tells a story of ancient civilizations, epic battles, and magical wonders. Today, we'll embark on an incredible journey across all 9 provinces, discovering what makes each one special and how they've shaped the rich tapestry of Elder Scrolls lore. So grab your map and walking boots, because we're about to explore the most fascinating continent in fantasy gaming. Let's begin our journey in the north with Skyrim, the land of the Nords. This rugged province is famous for its towering mountains, ancient ruins, and the legendary dragons that once ruled its skies. The hardy Nords have called this frozen realm home for thousands of years, building great cities like Whiterun and Solitude amidst the harsh wilderness. Skyrim's landscape is dominated by the throat of the world, the highest peak in all of Tamriel, where the mysterious greybeards practice the ancient art of the Thuum. The province has weathered countless storms, from dragon attacks to civil wars, yet its people remain as unbreakable as the ice that covers their homeland. The pine forests whisper with Nordic legends, while underground, ancient Dwemer ruins hide technological marvels that continue to baffle scholars. Travelling southwest, we enter Hammerfell, the desert kingdom of the Redguards. This sun-scorched province is a land of endless sand dunes, ancient cities, and master swordsmen whose curved blades are legendary throughout Tamriel. The Redguards, originally from the lost continent of Yokuda, brought with them martial traditions that have made them the finest warriors in all the land. Cities like Sentinel and Tanith rise from the deserts like jeweled mirages, their architecture blending practical desert design with elegant curves. The Alikard Desert stretches for hundreds of miles, hiding forgotten tombs and oases where weary travellers can find respite. Despite the harsh environment, Hammerfell has produced some of history's greatest heroes, and their resistance to foreign invasion has become the stuff of legend. Our journey takes us east to Morrowind, perhaps the most alien and fascinating province in all of Tamriel. This is the ancestral home of the Dark Elves, or Dunmer, a land where giant mushrooms tower like trees and volcanic ash rains from crimson skies. The province is dominated by the mighty Red Mountain, an active volcano that has shaped both the landscape and the culture of its inhabitants. Cities like Vivek and Mournhold showcase the unique architectural style of the Dunmer, with their organic curves and integration with the strange landscape. Morrowind is a place where tradition and mysticism intertwine, where ancestor worship is practiced alongside the veneration of living gods. The Telvanni wizards conduct their magical experiments in giant mushroom towers, while House Hlalu merchants trade exotic goods across the province's waterways. Moving south through the heartland of Tamriel, we arrive in Cyrodiil, the Imperial province and seat of power for the entire continent. This fertile land of rolling hills and dense forests has been the stage for some of history's most pivotal moments. At its centre stands the Imperial city, a massive metropolis built on an island in Lake Rumare, connected to the mainland by magnificent stone bridges. The white gold tower rises from the city's heart like a beacon of imperial authority, its spire visible for miles in every direction. Cyrodiil's temperate climate and rich farmlands have made it the breadbasket of the empire, while its central location has made it the natural hub for trade and diplomacy. The Nibene Basin and Colovia regions, each contribute their own distinct character to this cosmopolitan province. Venturing into the southwest, we discover Valenwood, the forest kingdom of the Wood Elves, or Bosmer. This province is essentially one enormous forest, where trees grow so tall they seem to touch the clouds themselves. The Bosmer have built their cities within these living giants, creating a civilization that exists in perfect harmony with nature. Falinesti, the walking city, is perhaps the most remarkable settlement, as it literally migrates with the seasons, following ancient paths through the forest. The Green Pact, a sacred agreement between the Bosmer and the forest spirit Yefra, governs every aspect of life here, forbidding the harming of plant life within Valenwood's borders. This has led to some unique customs, including the controversial wild hunt, where the Bosmer temporarily abandon their civilized forms. The canopy cities are connected by bridges and platforms, creating a three-dimensional urban landscape unlike anywhere else in Tamriel. Our exploration leads us to the arid lands of Elsweyr, home to the cat-like Khajiit, and one of the most culturally rich provinces in Tamriel. This desert realm is divided between the northern steppes of Anaquina and the southern jungles of Palatine, creating a diverse landscape that has shaped the equally diverse Khajiit people. The Khajiit come in many different forms, from the house cat-sized Alfik to the mighty Sencherat that serve as steeds for their smaller cousins. Their cities, like Rimmen and Torval, blend architectural influences from across Tamriel, while maintaining distinctly Khajiit characteristics. The province is famous for its moon sugar trade, a substance both magical and controversial that grows nowhere else. Elsweyr's complex political history includes periods of independence and imperial vassalage, but through it all, the Khajiit have maintained their unique culture, their merchant caravans, and their deep connection to the lunar cycles that determine their very forms. Deep in the southeast lies Black Marsh, also known as Argonia, the mysterious homeland of the Argonians. This vast wetland is perhaps the most inhospitable province in Tamriel for any race other than the reptilian Argonians themselves. The endless swamps, poisonous plants, and dangerous creatures have kept most outsiders at bay throughout history. The Argonians themselves are deeply connected to the ancient trees known as the Hist, which are said to be sentient and communicate through a form of telepathy. Cities like Gideon rise from the murky waters on stilts and platforms, while deeper in the marsh, ancient Dunmer pyramids hint at a civilization far older than most realize. The province successfully resisted the Daedric invasion during the Oblivion Crisis, with the Argonians launching such a fierce counterattack that the Daedra were forced to close their own portals. This demonstrates the hidden strength of what many consider to be Tamriel's most primitive province. Our journey concludes in the far west with the Summerset Isles, the ancestral homeland of the High Elves, or Altmer. This archipelago represents the pinnacle of elven civilization, where crystal cities rise like works of art from manicured landscapes. The capital city of Alinor seems to defy the laws of physics, with its impossible spires and ethereal architecture that appears to be made of glass and starlight. The Altmer pride themselves on their magical prowess, their ancient bloodlines, and their preservation of the earliest elven traditions. The College of Sapiarchs in Lilendril houses the greatest collection of knowledge in all of Tamriel, while the Crystal Tower serves as both a centre of learning and a mystical focus for the island's magical energies. Despite their reputation for arrogance, the Altmer have contributed immeasurably to Tamrielic culture, from their magical innovations to their architectural marvels. And so, our grand tour of Tamriel's 9 provinces comes to an end. But the adventures waiting in each of these magnificent realms are truly endless.